name is Bridget Legault. I'm the community manager down in Calgary. We have Amber Rowden on the call, who is our community storyteller in Calgary. And then our steering committee from Edmonton's Rainforest is here today, and we'll let Gail do a quick intro of the Rainforest right after just a quick announcement. In Calgary, we just want to say a really big thank you to those who filled out the scorecard assessment. We'll stop harassing you now for that participation. We got a little aggressive. I said to Amber, we might have lost a few friends last week, but hey, it paid off because we doubled participation from 20, whatever the previous year was, 2020.
Fantastic.
So yeah, really great news there. And we'll be digging into the data here in the coming weeks, doing a really high level presentation from both Calgary and Edmonton scorecards, February 16th. And then in Calgary, at least we'll have a more detailed report come out. There's something wonky happening there, Amber, with like black boxes.
Yeah, that's a graphical limitation with the
on my
screen share.
On my screen?
Yeah, it's okay now. You had one in the middle there. It's good enough.
Yeah, it's the Zoom bars. So any of the Zoom windows are right now overlaying because there's graphics settings that either aren't right or your computer's graphics chip isn't able to handle Zoom overlays.
Is this better now? No.
What Ross said.
that is a bit better there now. So there's a black box that we see in the bottom left-hand corner, and I think it's probably the Zoom bar on the very top there.
Okay, what about? Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of it. So any Zoom windows you have open are going to show up over top.
Move that one, Amber.
We see a lot of black boxes now.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Okay, now, oh no, we're okay.
Do you have a second screen at all?
No,
I don't think.
Okay, I would recommend getting a second display because then you can have the Zoom windows on one screen and then just screen share the other one, so there won't be overlay issues.
Ross is a Zoom expert.
There's also now an option to hide the Zoom controls.
Oh, is there?
Okay, where is that one now hiding out?
God, I wish I could remember. I thought it was under the 3 dots when you're presenting your screen.
Okay. Add Zoom controls.
Just move that big one over, Amber, and we'll continue on. That looks like it's probably the full.
Yeah, that looks a little bit better there now. Yeah.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you, Ross. Zoom questions, direct them to Ross. We'll get into things here. So first, we'd like to acknowledge that we work, play, and live on the traditional and unceded territories of the Treaty 7 and the Treaty 6 for those in Edmonton, Treaty 7 for those in the Calgary area. So if you have a land acknowledgement that you would like to share at Lunch Without Lunch any week, we'd love to have you take part in this part of the programming. So please ping Amber and I if you'd like to share your own land acknowledgement. And if you are on other territories, you can share that in the chat. So I'll hand it over to Gail Powley of Edmonton's Rainforest to give us an intro today.
Thank you very much, Bridget and Amber, and good to see everyone again on this beautiful Alberta February day. So as you all know, or most of you know, and to newcomers, welcome to Rainforest Alberta, a community of innovators, doers, dreamers, connectors, and builders. Next slide, please. Here's the video that many of you are familiar with.
What does it take to realize an idea, or for a seed to sprout? At Rainforest Alberta, we know the answer is rooted in trust. Traditionally, Albertans have cultivated their ideas in established systems. Inputs that don't fit these systems are weeded out. Opportunities for growth are missed. But now, Albertans want a dynamic landscape that can evolve organically, like a rainforest. At Rainforest Alberta, we believe a culture of trust is the fertile soil where ideas grow. Our budding innovation ecosystem is a network of relationships pulling each other up as they push forward in their own field. Trust breaks down barriers. An open, inclusive network increases collaborative innovation. Successful breakthroughs inspire new ideas. A cycle begins. Rainforest Alberta is a movement to amplify trust by cultivating honesty, inclusion, and accountability. How? Our social contract holds us accountable to demonstrate trust across the province. We meet to have honest conversations around collaboration. This leads to more inclusive spaces for everyone to fearlessly build new ideas together. By raising the standard of trust, Alberta's ideas, talent, and resources can can be evergreen. Visit rainforestab.ca to sign the social contract and start growing together.
Excellent. So we use these 6 pillars to guide our conversations and actions. With each pillar have different levels of weight in our community. Like any ecosystem, the right balance is crucial, and they're measured each year through our scorecard assessment, measuring on culture and leaders, resources, engaged activities, policy and infrastructure, and role models. Next slide. So tips to make most of Lunch Without Lunch, the session today. Please do introduce yourself in the chat, connect with each other individually, put your camera on, ask questions, keep connecting through Rainforest Slack workspace. Check out hashtag lunch notes for a capture of today's chat, and the recordings are posted on YouTube. And many people will say connect with them on LinkedIn. We want to continue this very contagious engagement of the entrepreneur community, knowing about each other and helping each other. So thank you for that. Next slide. That might be the end slide. So we focus in on one of our social contract principles. Today is trust. I will give trust to others before expecting to receive trust in return. Thank you very much. And over to you, Bridget.
Thanks, Gail. If you're new to Lunch Without Lunch or to the Rainforest or to the event, if you'd like to just use the reactions button to raise your hand or throw a party emoji up there so we can identify you, and those who have been around the block a little can extend an olive branch or say welcome and hello. Please feel free to share your information in the chat or your LinkedIn profile there so people can connect outside of this hour. So today we have been, for quite some time now, been featuring founders' stories from the lens of the social contract. And we're very excited to have a big player in AI join us today. And I'm going to let Amber introduce our entrepreneurs today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bridget. All right. So Kwame Asiedu is a data scientist, entrepreneur, educator, and machine learning visionary who's passionate about empowering the next generation of AI and ML users. As co-founder and co-CEO of Calgary's Braintoy, Kwame is bringing an accessible and affordable machine learning platform to large, small, and medium-sized businesses around the world. We also have Padma Paul, who's an esteemed machine learning researcher, published author, former professor, and entrepreneur. As the co-founder of Braintoy, Canada's first machine learning platform, he is dedicated to helping businesses build and deploy their own machine learning solutions to enhance business performance. You both have incredible bios, and I just want to say that, and backgrounds, and I'm very excited to hear your story. So without further ado, to tell us more, I will introduce Padma and Kwame to share your story. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Amber, it's Pete. I just wanted to chime in for a sec if I could.
Sure.
I've known Padma and Kwame now for quite a while, and they are the source of low code, no code Python development, and they're the way out of the challenge that we have with skills development for the province. So I've been working with them as well. And so when you hear this story, you're gonna love it, but they're gonna need to do a demo later on another time for an hour that will actually be quite amazing. So we'll post that into a link as well. Thank you.
Sweet. Thanks so much, Peter. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kwame.
Yeah, thank you very much, Amber. And thank you all for having us. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, to be connected to the Alberta ecosystem. So thank you very much. And I'll just dive into it. We are Braintoy and we make AI accessible. But the reason we started, this was in 2008, where Dr. Padma Paul was working on some brain sensory data. And at that time, he had to build several models and he had to update them, but he found that there was no technology to actually help him do this. There were technologies, but it was very complex and very, very cumbersome. And so he created his own way, his own little application to help him build this model. He called it a model factory. So you can manufacture models every now and then. And then somewhere in 2010, I met Padma here at the U of C whilst we were in school. And I worked at Shaw as a data scientist, but I also found that it was so complex. Everybody I worked with did not understand what AI was. And I remember drawing something on a paper, and I called it Analytics for Dummies, and I showed it to the team. And they said, no, you can't use that name. But the whole intent was, this technology is so useful, but why is it so complex? And why is it that only a few of us with master's degree and PhDs can do it? And so we set out on a journey to make this easy and accessible. And our motto has always been to empower everyone to be able to leverage AI in solving meaningful problems. If you have heard, they've called AI the new electricity. Today, which industry can function without electricity? No one. In fact, electricity is something that they don't teach you when you get a job, because you are supposed to know it. They give you a laptop and you're supposed to know where to plug it in and to use it. And so if this is going to be the next electricity, then everybody needs to have knowledge about it, which means that if the technologies are so cumbersome, then we need to improve it. And we've always asked ourselves this question, that if AI is supposed to make our life easy and simple, then why are the technologies for building AI solutions so complex? Why can't we even use AI to make the development of AI easy and simple? It's a thought-provoking question, right? And that is what we thought about. And so we said, this is going to help. And so we want to change people's lives by using this AI. And the way we want to do it is to empower everyone. And when we say everyone, we mean individuals, we mean organizations, to adapt, to embrace, and to leverage AI in solving meaningful problems. So how do we do this? How do we empower people? We do it in 3 ways. We created something called MLOS, Machine Learning Operating System, which you will hear a little more about it later on. When Peter was talking about a demo, this is what he was talking about. So we created something called MLOS, which basically creates a methodology around the development of AI solutions. It's a low-code, no-code platform that can let anyone who is interested in building AI, production AI solutions, do so. But we also realized that there are a lot of organizations today that are so confused about this AI. They don't know what it is. They don't know where to start. It's also very expensive. There are stories of some people who have paid to some organizations to get AI solutions, and they end up getting fancy dashboards. And because of that, now they are scared to go out to even spend, money on trying to embrace this technology. There was a recent report from Ipsos, and unfortunately, it said that Canadians are the least likely to adopt AI. And out of 28 countries, Canada was almost the bottom in every single category, 27, almost all the time. And so, in fact, the report said Canada lacked only in one category, and that is skepticism about AI. More Canadians are nervous. They are afraid of this technology. And so in the solution space, what we do is that we connect with organizations and we help them ideate. We empower them with the knowledge. We help them ideate, brainstorm, discover problems that AI could help them solve in various business units. And we build solutions for them. But we in Braintoy don't believe in this idea of always going to solve problems for people. We believe that if this is the next electricity, everyone should be able to have this knowledge, which means that if you have domain expertise, you need to be empowered with this technology so you can leverage your domain expertise and use AI to solve problems in that area. Because if we always want data scientists to go to manufacturing, to supply chain, to oil and gas, to solve it's not scalable. So the most scalable way is to be able to empower people to do it. And so in addition to building solutions where we empower people, we decided to also partner with educational institutions. And so we've created a curriculum where we partner with educational institutions and we teach applied machine learning and applied AI so that people from hospitality, from religion, whichever your background is, you will be able to acquire this knowledge and you can use it in solving problems there. Now, how are we doing so far? So far, we have these and other organizations who have trusted in us. So we've partnered with SAIT, Royal Supply Chain Canada, Manpower, and we are putting this, we are empowering people with AI. And in fact, when we say changing lives, we've seen this happen where people have pivoted from their existing careers in oil and gas, as an example. Maybe they were laid off and they've taken these programs and now they are working in data. We've had people who have switched careers from cybersecurity and now are working in data. We've had people who've gone back to their existing careers and now they can think of problems differently. In fact, here in Alberta, we started this in about 2021, just the AI training, the education part. And we've had people now working at Microsoft. People from our cohort are working at Microsoft, Alta ML. There are pharmaceutical companies here that have hired people. Supply Chain Canada have employed a lot more people in AI. So we are definitely seeing the benefit of this in the tech world and in this ecosystem. Insurance companies like Trufla, oil and gas companies like Meg Energy. Outside of Canada, we have companies in Kuwait, in Africa, like Ghana, companies like MTN and Vodafone. So these are big companies and they've trusted us and they're working with us in various capacities. So what are we going to keep doing? Where are we going from here? Is that we're going to continue to do what we are doing. The goal is to empower everyone with this. I call it the incredible 21st century technology. So we want to tie into this. We're so excited to tie into this tech ecosystem. And we're going to try and play our quota, play our part in removing this phobia, this skepticism, this fear about embracing AI. Because we live in it's a digital economy. And we are Canada is actually going to play a key role in this. And we in Canada, we're immigrants. We're here now. My kids are here. They're born here. I am now Canadian too. So we want to contribute our part in building this digital economy. But everything we do is hinged on this product that we created that we call MLOS. And so I will leave it to Dr. Padma Polash to continue the presentation from here.
Thank you, Kwame. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so hi everyone. So MLOS is machine learning operating system. So when we see the operating system, we know about Microsoft, Windows, iOS or Mac OS, Linux, all these things. So our goal was to provide similar usability that we're using for last 20 years, 30 years now, same experience designing in machine learning. And the reason why we design such a way that in the industry, what we found, there's few challenges in the industry nowadays. Like biggest challenge is AI project or ML project stopped at the presentation level. That is the biggest challenge. So you have the data, you manipulate it, you hire data scientists, and you do all these things, and then it ends up, oh, we got something in a presentation. But what's the next step? How to take it to the production? How to utilize it for the enhancement of the company or giving more value to the company? So that's why MLOS came, and it's like a end-to-end solution for data to the dashboard. We can think that way, and it's solving the tech skill gap. You can think how every domain expert, like any domain, doesn't matter, even if they have programming knowledge or tech knowledge, they understand their data, they understand their problem. Those domain experts can take any data and they can work through that data. Please go to the next slide. Comment? I don't know. Yeah, thank you. So in MLOS, we have three levels of user or 3 tiers of user. One is visual ML, another is auto ML, and expert ML. So we focused on the user space mainly, how they can actually utilize this platform. So visual ML, where they understand the data and they want to click, go there and solve the problem. That's where they have to, maybe for a problem, they might need to click just 20 times. Once they click 20 buttons, they're okay with, like, they're in a model in a production and application is running. That's solving the tech gaps, like you need backend engineer, front-end engineer, ML engineer, data scientist, all these things to design an ML program. With this MLOS, you can just click, 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 and you have all these things. Auto ML even the similar way, but instead of, let's say, one domain expert understand the problem, but they want to try so many different things and they don't have to explore more. They just say, hey, ML, can you help me with ML? That's where the auto ML comes. So we have ML expert in the back end of our MLOS. ML is utilized to generate the ML. And expert ML, let's say in organization, they have so many experts, they have programmers, they can do everything. They have their own recipes, they have their own secrets. They can integrate everything to MLOS, to their existing solution or the solution that they want to maintain forever. We also added AI for youth because we know the learning in the root is the most important thing. So we're empowering the youth so that in future, when they grow, they know that, okay, how to utilize AI in an efficient way. So we have youth programs. That's where we're like giving advice on, for grade 7 or 6 to 12, where they can utilize what would be the future of AI and stuff like that. So yeah, I think for the MLOps purpose, if I want to say, it's a end-to-end ML ops, like how to capture the data to the how to serve the intelligence for the business. That's the main purpose of MLOS. Can we go to the next slide? I think with the demo, let's go. Okay, so we're trying to arrange a demo in 15th of February from 11:30. So we'll walk through the platform completely, and where we'll be able to understand, okay, how to connect to the data source, how to click through and design a model, and how it can be just in a production used by everyone. So yeah, I think that's all from my side, and yeah, I'll leave it to Kwame, and please continue.
Thank you, Padma. I think we had a short presentation because we knew we had 20 minutes. So that's basically it. But I just want to say that I know at the beginning of the presentation, there was a mention of trust, right? And one of the reasons why Canadians have been late to adopting AI is because of this lack of familiarity and trust to this technology. But this is definitely the future, and we are here. Our main goal is to help people cross over and build this trust for this new technology, machine learning and AI. So thank you. Please, if you have any questions.
Yeah.
Great point, Kwame. Okay, so we have 2 people with hands raised. Thanks for the presentations, fascinating. Peter and Alan, so we'll go in that order, and then we have a question from Heiko in the chat.
Thank you very much for bringing up trust. It is a very key thing, and I trust these guys. I love these guys. They do amazing work, and they are going to bring machine learning to the general population. So it's a phenomenal. You're going to love the demonstration. I would just like to ask, if I'm a super good ML AI guy and understand how to do this stuff, does this not just dumb it down, or can I use your platform to expand my horizons and skills?
Yeah, thank you. So I've been a data scientist for over 12 years. So I can call myself a skilled, and I've built solutions that are running in companies here in Calgary. However, I still found that whenever I am building solutions with the existing technology, one, it took a long time. In fact, in my existing company where I used to work, ATB Financial, one of the top AI companies in our companies that are using AI in Alberta, we will spin a scrum of about 15 members, and it takes us 6 months to develop an end-to-end solution and put it in production. So even and they have they are skilled people that I work with and respect very well, still in touch with them. But even experienced people seems to be having this hurdle of, it takes so much time. And this is a cost to the company, is a cost to the individuals. I've heard stories of by the time they finish developing the solution, it is obsolete. We don't want that. And so we're cutting this in maybe by 95%, because with MLOS, you can actually, once you conceive the idea and you have access to the data, you can build these solutions and put them in production in days and in weeks.
Yeah, thanks.
I want to add more with the comment. You see, the maintainability is again becomes another issue. When you design a solution that may take 6 months, okay, I have a solution. Now to maintain or upgrade and keep it up and running, it's another issue. So you need all these engineers, programmers in the backend. But with MLOS, it's just like it's a matter of click. Yeah, it's maintained.
Go ahead, Alan.
Hi, awesome presentation. I'm really excited to see more, and I can't wait to tune in for I think you said you were doing a presentation on the 15th. So that's really awesome. So is the investment here in Canada, is it because that they're not trusting, or is it because, because there seems to sometimes be a lack of investment in Canada for different things. Like in oil and gas and stuff like that, the investments kind of run around and things like that. Is it really because that we're not trusting, or we're just not, the funds just aren't here because of the current economy?
I personally think it is, based on some of the conversations we've had, I think it is a matter of mindset right now with adapting these technologies, and also a lack of familiarity with it. A lot of people have heard about it. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to identify opportunities for it. They are not able to quantify the benefits or the impact this could have on their organization. So that lack of information and knowledge about this is what has become a hindrance to adapting this technology. I think there are people who keep talking about doing this, and they have some funds and they would like to invest. Some have tried in the past and have been burned because they ended up getting some descriptive statistics and some dashboards. There's nothing proactive about it. And so now they are scared to approach it again. But I think mindset is a big part of it. And if we can shift that, then we will be making a headway.
Myself, I'm more of an HR guy as well. And I'm trying to see what my fit might be in such a market, because I think as well, it's guiding, a workforce through, such a beautiful development. But also I'm sort of trying to think of if I'm not tech enough to sort of, I'm trying to think of what the bridge is between AI and workforce. So I'm trying to kind of get there.
You got to bring your business knowledge to this, and that's the answer. Is you've got to really understand your space, and then you bring that to this model. Is the answer. So that's the whole magic here, is that you got to understand kind of where you might want to go and what some of the potentials are, and then you get involved with an organization and people that understand how to work with Braintoy. That would be my answer.
Yeah. And we recently created something that we call foundational AI, which is where somebody with domain expertise, and they are not the one building the solution. They just need to have an understanding of what this is. And so it's a short program which just empower them. And to your point, if you are in HR, we talk about it, there are a lot of jobs that are advertised, and the position and what is being asked for is just crazy. They are asking asking one person to do the job of maybe 4 or 5 people. And this is just because some people just copy the job. They saw a post somewhere, they copy it, and then they paste it, and they feel like, okay, this is nice to have. I actually saw on LinkedIn where a job was asking for 4 years experience in a particular library in machine learning. And the guy who wrote the package wrote that, I guess I don't qualify for this since I wrote this 2 years ago, right? So if we can, bridge this gap by at least getting everyone some knowledge, some foundation knowledge in what this is, then in their respective domains, they will be able to use it to help.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Some of the use cases in HR, you can think this way. Let's say you may get thousands of resumes, for example. Now, ranking those resumes based on your need could be one solution to your problem. Hey, we need to spend, let's say, too much time on ranking those resumes. Why not AI helps me to find a person out of those resumes that is fit for particular job X? That could be one thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I really want to take this all to the next level, because some of that's kind of already being done, by screening tools, things like that. No, I'm thinking, yeah, my mind's really going on it, and I'm thinking way out there, like at the other end of the field. So
makes sense. Yeah.
Thanks, fellas.
That's great. And you're Angie.
Hey, thank you, Brigitte. Appreciate it. Algier. Hi, everyone. Padma, Kwame, great presentation. Kwame, I remember when you were leaving ATB to go and say, I'm going to focus full-time on Braintoy, and you've done an absolute success. So cheers to you. As someone who is also formerly in AI and now on this founder's journey, I'm really interested to understand. I understand your platform is a self-serve platform, and I'm understanding from the time of onboarding to seeing results, what does that progression look like for a new user? So let's just say someone like myself who have past experience, but not in the actual development of solutions, but more from a product management perspective. What does that look like from an onboarding to actually seeing results using your platform? Because I think what you're doing is really, really inspiring. So really hoping to understand, what does that self-serve experience look like?
Yeah, thank you, Ange. And I must say, I'm following you. I'm so excited that you joined this entrepreneurship crew. So we'll be in touch. Let's outside of here. But thank you for your question. So typically, it will take us, if let's say in MLOS, we are able to deploy on your private cloud, your public cloud, on-prem, wherever you want it. We are environment agnostic. And if you're on Google, our deployment is so fast that we do that in 1 week, irrespective of the type, the data connectors that you have, and whatever Active Directory for users and all of that. We can do that in 1 week. If you're on Microsoft Azure, it takes us 4 weeks. If you're on AWS, it takes us between 2 to 3 weeks to do it. If you're on prem, it takes us 4 weeks. Now, on-prem can be very complex. For instance, Meg Energy is on-prem. They have their own data center, and there are a whole lot in there. But still, for that, it took us 8 weeks. Now, once it's in there, for someone like you who have an understanding of the principles, then it's just a matter of knowing the technology, because you know the data you have. And in fact, when we deploy for people, we do a 2 weeks check-in with them. And sometimes after their fourth meeting, they don't want to schedule again because they can go. And people have seen results, things deployed in production in weeks. In fact, let's say it takes us 3 weeks to deploy, you could see results 2 weeks after. Why? If you have the data, you can experiment. And in that first 2 hours, you would definitely see a solution. The rest is now you trying to update it and improve the performance. And because deployment is just by a click, then if you have developers, it's just a matter of integrating them into the solution. So days to weeks, we can see results definitely, if you have data for the type of problem you are talking about.
So Angie, I want to share one story with you regarding one of our clients. I don't want to take the name. So when we're showing the demo, and we asked for the data, and they sent us the data, and during the demo session, it was 1 hour. And then when we showed the demo, then from the beginning, loading the data to the dashboard generation, it took us around 45 minutes. And then one person, when he was introducing that, hey, this is the data, what we used, some consultant last year, and they took us 1.5 years to design the same thing that we are seeing here for 45 minutes. So that's the level you can think of.
But I would add that some problems could be very complex, and sometimes
yes.
they require customization. So if it's a very complex problem that requires customization, then it means there needs to be some code written in the background, and that could add to the length of the, yes.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Problem to problem, it varies, yeah.
If I could
Thank you
just chime in for a second, Angie, it will take longer for ATB to get 2 or 3 of their executives to coordinate to actually provide you with the data access to actually realize your vision than it will take for Kwame and Padma to make this happen.
Peter,
That's a good
the
point.
gentleman in your back is
Yeah.
very animated. I love
Jade's
it.
got FOMO because he's not here today.
He's my bearded brother.
That's awesome. Peter, I'm no longer at ATB. I myself, I'm left to pursue entrepreneurship, but I'm definitely so interested to chat with you all. And Padma, Kwame, thank you so much for the answers. And yes,
Well, let's go
keep
back
touch.
in, Ange, and we can show Curtis Stang how to do it at ATB, and we'll do it as a group, okay?
Yes, absolutely. All the ex-ATBers pitching in for Braintoy. I love it. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
And we'd love to hear what you're working on. If you want to share in the chat, up to you. We'll go Tommy and then Galen, and then sorry, I forgot about Heiko's question in the chat. So if someone wants to hit that one in the chat from the Braintoy team, that would be great. And then we are gonna try to save some time for some breakout rooms. So hit it, Tommy. Let's try to wrap the Q&A up here pretty quickly.
So I get the opportunity to be super brief. That's a trait that I'm really as familiar with. Anyway,
You can
I
do
really
it.
appreciate the, that was a great presentation. As a shareholder of Meg Energy, and with the annual meeting coming up, I'm going to say sometime in May, I believe, and materials to be sent out shortly to shareholders. I'm curious if you can elaborate on anything. I mean, obviously you're a service provider, to an area, but like I would think this would be the thing that would be in their materials in terms of development. So I wonder if you could kind of, if you will, expand on anything that is not that is sort of in their public domain. I'm dancing around the words here, guys, but basically what I might see in the information circular.
Okay. In fact, we just, and I think Michelle is here. So she is working with us. She's a consultant, public relations consultant working with us, and she just had an interview with the Meg Energy group. And so maybe in the next couple of weeks, then we're going to have some of these messages out there about what we're doing with Meg Energy. But that will just be the beginning, because there will be more stories. Now we are telling the story with some of the data scientists. We will be going on. Once we make more impact, then we want to go as far as the CIO and the CEOs, and then tell stories with them, because we want to be able to showcase the impact that AI, leveraging AI, is helping this oil and gas companies.
Okay.
I don't know if Michelle want to add to that.
Thanks, Kwame. I can just add, I mean, obviously there's some privacy concerns. We're running it through the executives at Meg, to make sure that how much we on the website and on the blog. But I can share with you that essentially it was a smaller, and Kwame, you jump in here, but a smaller kind of demo or pilot project. Needed to show that this is working before they get bigger buy-in from the executives. And it was also shared with me that the new COO, very tech friendly and very interested in pushing this, using this technology. So hopefully seeing more stories to tell, from Meg and all of the other companies that Kwame had mentioned.
Yeah, listen, I'll be super quick and just say I'm actually seeing the chairman of the board of Meg Energy tomorrow evening. And that's why I ask. I mean, literally, obviously, I'm going to be sensitive, and I don't really feel like I should be doing the pitching because I don't know it as well as you guys do. But I just thought, it's the kind of thing, I don't know if it's got to the board level, but I'm just, and that's not meant to drop names on who I'm hanging out with these days, but I just, like it is what it is. And so I thought I might put in a plug to say that, hey, this could be a cool thing for you guys.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
I can add something here actually. So when I was in G Innovation Center, and we're working with Meg Energy at that time. So Meg also has, again, like AI-based engagement. So, but when we introduced the solution to Meg, what we found actually, the solution they introduced to their user in just 6 months with one data scientist. They were spending from 2016 to 2021, similar kind of things with big organizations. But it's the rolling out, and these are the pilots things that's happening. Once these things goes, then they will be built on top of each other. And we have a plan. I was talking to our engagement partner that we want to partner up with Meg such a way that in future Meg can say that, hey, we are using Braintoy MLOS as our ML solution, plus also we may want to introduce some of our solution to our clients or to our can be a IT based engagement with others. That could be, and it's a go-to platform for us. Like other organizations like oil and gas, they do that.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, being an old guy, if you would like me to help you with some introductions at that kind of level, happy to do so.
Awesome, that would be great. Thank you, Tommy. We'll connect.
I know Tommy quite well, Padma. We'll follow up. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to Galen and quickly wrap that up so we can fit in one networking room before announcements.
Yeah, great presentation, Kwame and Padma. That was awesome. Just quickly with you'd mentioned, Kwame, the Ipsos surveys that were done. You said Canada ranked toward or was at the bottom. Just wondering which countries were near the top. Was that the US or some European countries?
Yeah, US, Australia, Germany, these guys were always at the top. Canada, I think, beat only Belgium.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I was wondering. Just kind of wondering who were at the top. Thanks.
You really took the quick question queue. Well, thank you. Okay, we'll head into networking time. We like to normally have a bit more networking time, but we'll take what we can get. So you'll be heading into some small rooms. Please don't choose to disappear at this point in time. We'd all like to have some conversations with everyone in the room, not just those who have the mic today. So share what your thoughts on the presentation, or if you have an ask of the community or something you can offer to the community, please don't be shy in sharing with your groups. So I'll open the rooms now, and we might have time for 2 quick ones. Share blockchain symposium that's going on in April on behalf of Jade Alberts. He's asked me to share this event. It's an in-person event being held April 20th, 21st, covering topics like blockchain, AI, all sorts of other emerging technologies in the province. And who else has some announcements?
I'll just say the Rainforest Connector, which is every 3rd Tuesday of the month at 4 o'clock, is next week, February 15th. The topic is on bringing value for entrepreneurs through collaborations. So there's a lot of collaboration centers like Applied Pharmaceutical Innovations, which is an organization that works across Alberta, bringing life sciences entrepreneurs, helping them go to market, if you will. And so we have Andrew McIntosh speaking, who's head of that organization, as well as Reg Joseph of Health Cities, and Raj Jaswal, who's head of NABI in St. Albert. And then we also have one last organization, the Health Innovation Hub. So please come and hear about how they can help you.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Gail. I do want to mention, we're always being asked for more opportunities to connect. So there's an added question. Oh, it didn't show up on the poll. wondering if if people would like a extra hour of networking time every week or every 2 weeks. So add your comments in the chat. But also we've added the Random Coffee app to our Slack channel. So if you browse the workspaces or the channels in our workspace, you can search for random-coffee. If you join that channel every Monday morning at 9, you'll be assigned to a random coffee date with somebody. It's then up to you to organize the time and platform for that coffee date, but you'll get the matching through Slack. So please join. We don't have enough people in the channel yet to really make it effective.
Bridget, it did show up on my questionnaire.
It did, yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Zoom. It does not show up on. Oh, yes, it does.
It showed up on
I'm a liar.
mine, then it
Okay.
disappeared to the other one, and then it came back.
It's probably Amber working her magic silently in the background. Okay. Any other announcements before we leave?
Listen to the podcast.
Listen to the podcast. Braintoy was on the podcast 2 weeks ago, so hear more from Kwame and Padma on the podcast. I think it was just Kwame, but great stuff today. Thanks so much for joining us, Braintoy. We'll be watching all your successes and lots of interest in the demo on the date escapes me. Jump in.
15th.
Thank you very much, everybody.
That was
Bridget,
awesome. Yeah.
Padma.
Thank you so
Kwame.
much, everyone.
Thank you. Yes, that was really interesting.